Hello everyone, my name is Sark and welcome back to another Figma review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Hatsune Miku, Racing Miku from 2023. And honestly, I'm quite excited because this is my first ever Hatsune Miku figure. And it had to be this design for specific reasons, but this figure was expensive, so I'm expecting a lot. Without further ado, let's get her out and see what she comes with. Alright, so here we have Racing Miku 2023. Probably the best Racing Miku design, and only because it was done by the illustrator Toridamono. So again, he does pretty good illustrations, so I'm quite happy that we finally got something for Miku herself. And you'll notice there are certain aspects as to why she is quite popular with the fan base, but she stands, and I'm quite surprised about that. Was very wary about if she was gonna stand or not, but she stands at a whopping 6 inches from the looks of it. 6.5 maybe. Yeah, around 6 inches. So she is a 6-inch figure. Most Figmas are. There are a couple of exceptions, but honestly, she looks pretty freaking good. Pretty darn good already. And I see a lot of good ingenuity and some questionable ones. So again, this Miku designed for the 2023 Racing Miku version, and she has had a lot of merchandise, a lot. Now, when it comes to like sort of the appeal and aesthetic of this character, she looks majestic, well, to say the least. That's all I will say. The hair is something that I'm a little bit worried about. They're quite heavy overall, like they're already quite heavy. For example, like you can move them without like actually moving them. They're quite heavy themselves, and they're translucent plastic. I don't know how I feel about that, because right here in this section it's hard plastic, but then it goes over to a translucent plastic. It actually seems to be the same plastic overall, so actually redact what I said. It's just translucent plastic, probably painted, or just used two different materials altogether. That is what worries me the most about this figure. If you guys don't recall to the Sailor Moon video that I made a long time ago at this point, the hair for her wasn't the greatest, and also because the hair strands were connected weirdly, but this Miku's hair strands are actually connected better than that Sailor Moon. But still, the material is the exact same, and I'm kind of worried about the brittleness and the quality of it towards the actual lifespan of it. So yeah, but again, aesthetic looks really good. The skin tone looks amazing. She has extra thick thighs and an extra thick butt, because that is how the Racing Miku for this year was done. So again, extra thick thighs for Miku. She deserved it. She was one of the only characters that in my opinion, that didn't have it. So yeah, again, looks wonderful, looks beautiful. The face looks absolutely marvelous. I think they did a really good job with the printing on that. It looks awesome. Again, my only concern is the hair strands themselves. Everything else looks absolutely beautiful. Sculpted different ways. Paint job, everything is immaculate in my opinion. And even like the wording right here on her thigh, pretty good overall. Now, I haven't had a regular Figma in a while, meaning like an actual physical body Figma. The last Figma that I reviewed was the Emmy from Metroid Dread, and that was completely different, and you guys know how that went. I broke the damn finger on that thing, so hopefully nothing breaks while I move this Miku during the articulation section. So moving on to that, actually, Something to note actually before actually doing so. In the video quality, at least from the looks of it, Miku's hair is more like light blue color, but in person it's more aquamarine. So apologies for that if it's not color accurate. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. No, that just kind of... Yeah, just kind of... Never mind. I couldn't fix that. So apologies. The color might be a little different from my point of view compared to yours. So again, moving on to that articulation section, the hair strands are on ball hinges. So you can put them up, down, and rotate them 360 degrees if you wanted to. I'm pretty sure you can also take them off if you wish to do so, but I will not try because I am terrified of breaking something, especially for how expensive this figure was. So, the head, if I can get a good grip of it, she can look down about this far, almost non-existent. She can look up this much, which is actually pretty good. So, no articulation on moving the head forward whatsoever, and there is a little bit of a gap on the actual figure right here. So not the greatest, but also not the worst. Just kind of annoying that you can't look down that much. But with the torso, it actually kind of compensates for that. So yeah, you can move up forward that much. With the torso, you're gonna get a massive gap on the back, but I think that's fine. And you can move backwards about this much because that's how much it's going to prevent it. Please, hair strands, don't get in the way. So again, there is like a mechanism on the back that you can move forward a lot, and it'll leave the gap. But this section right here, this big peg, is just going to prevent you from actually going any further backwards, which I think is fine. And then you can move side to side if you wanted to very freely, so no issues there. The arms, now these things are on ball hinges, which I think is really good. So let's see how good that is actually. So if I move this up, you can get the arms to do a T-pose if you wanted to. She does not have a bicep swivel from the looks. Oh no, wait, does she? Well, you can rotate the arm if you wanted to. So you technically do have a form of bicep swivel using the whole entire bicep section of the arm. And then you have a single jointed elbow, which is standard for Figmas, especially female Figmas. So I have no issue there whatsoever. Come on, camera, don't lose focus. And then for the hands, you do have them on ball hinges, so you can move them backwards and forward if you wanted to. Now, kind of moving away from the arms, these things also, again, are on hinges. The back section is pretty solid. You can't move it at all. But for the actual ab crunch, you're about that far. It is very similar to the Marvel Legends ab crunch, where it is like the hinge on the actual abdomen section. So you can pretty much get the same amount of range as that. I kind of wish it was a ball peg instead. I'm dropping things. Apologies. So, kind of wish it was a ball peg instead, but I can't really complain. But going backwards, you're not going to get that much either because the whole ass is blocking it. So, no movement side to side, but you can rotate it with the legs. So, actually moving on to the legs, you can do some good motion of the splits. You can get the splits pretty far. Not perfect, but they're really good. Now, these are on drop-down hips, so you can drop them down and kind of kick forward if you wanted to, about that much, and kick backwards about that much. Again, the skirt is pretty much gonna block you in any form of like movement, so with no drop-down hip, it's about the same, I think. Is it? A little bit less. So a little bit less without the drop-down hip, and also for the back, around the same. So I think it looks fine. I think it works fine. It works perfectly fine in my opinion. Actually pretty decent, and not gonna lie. But yeah, You do have a thigh swivel, which is really nice. You can move them side to side. They do swivel as well. And single jointed knee looks really good overall. And just a hinge for the foot and a toe hinge. Go forward that far and backwards this far. So honestly, articulation, Figma does it pretty well, and it's honestly not bad at all. The one thing about this is that I'm gonna have trouble getting this figure to stand. So let me see if I can do it first try. If I can. That is awesome. Okay. All right. So again, already I'm taking way too long on this figure itself, but it's something different, I will say. So now let's move on to the accessories, because she comes with quite a bit of those. And by quite a few, I mean almost none. Okay, I have no issue with figures not coming with that many accessories if they're not that expensive. But this figure was nearly $100, I think. I just checked. It was $94 from the AmiAmi website. So realistically, it's a lot. It's a lot. Figmas are notorious for being overpriced, in my opinion. So, and also a lot of people's opinions. But what she does have is actually pretty good quality. So we have the little bird that she comes with. It was in the illustration. So we have the little cheerleader on the side as well with the same outfit, which is beautiful. I love it. For those that know Vocaloid, please tell me who that is. Faceplates, very lacking on faceplates. We only have one faceplate with her sort of just smiling and looking to the side. Would have loved more expressions like that, but I guess they just had to cheap out. Hand gestures, we have another couple different ones. So we have two fists. I don't know why she would need two fists, but she does. We have two open hand gestures to actually grab the flagpole, two pointing hand gestures, and another bigger whole close fist, pretty much, for holding this bad boy right here. I thought this was going to be flimsy, and I can definitely see this section right here breaking off if you're not careful with it, like myself. But the Good Smile Racing logo looks really nice. It's not bad at all. It's heavy, I will tell you. Like, look, I'm not moving it. That's how heavy it is. It is a brick, I will say. And of course, she comes with the standard Good Smile stuff. She has a little peg for the actual little birdie, and of course the stand for herself, which really does help, like, balance her out, especially with those giant pigtails. So yeah, I guess leading into my final thoughts for this figure, I think she's okay. I don't think she is the greatest. I think there definitely could have been more accessories added to this figure. Maybe a little toy car, who knows? But again, I think the lackluster amount of accessories is just not good, in my opinion. Again, I wish there was more faceplates rather than just one extra one, because it really just limits you a lot. And I'm like looking at the box right here. The only redeeming quality for me is just the design of the character. I think her thick thighs really do pretty much work well for her. So finally got my first Miku figure. It's a little bit underwhelming, but I like the design as well. And I'm definitely going to be getting the other Racing Miku, the one for 2024, the witch looking one, because that one also looks really good. I've been enjoying the Racing Miku designs from last year and this year. They've been absolutely wonderful. And I'm probably going to get a couple more Miku figures in the near future, but for now, this one has to suffice as my first ever Hatsune Miku figure. And I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. Mostly because it's okay, it's a good figure. The articulation is absolutely perfect, in my opinion. There are some weird things here and there. For example, the head, it like doesn't move forward that much, doesn't look down. The ab crunch is kind of limited, but that's besides the point. That's completely not an issue for me, at least for the most part. But yeah, that is all the time I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this figure. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you think about the character design? Is this the first time that you fell in love with a Hatsune Miku figure design? Because it definitely was for me. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.